Hey everyone, Sarah here. Today is a very special drawing stream, and it's not going to actually be very long. You can do everything with a number 2 pencil and a piece of printer paper. So the first thing I want to do is actually go over something that I said I was going to go over last week in the drawing class, because we used chalk in the class, and we actually have another chalk drawing coming up next week. We're going to do Easter themed drawings. It's going to actually be an Easter bunny, and so we're going to actually use a brown, the red and brown chalk. So I want to show you guys. I've got my hairspray here, and this is just cheap hairspray. I just buy something, like, don't buy anything fancy. You do want like an extra hold, extreme hold in this case. I'm going to show you. So this is the drawing from last week. Okay, so you see we have a lot of the red chalk in here. We also used charcoal, and charcoal also is very dusty, and you don't want that coming off. Let's see if it already has. A little bit of it has come off on the back, but not too bad. So I'm going to show you how to fix this. So you can buy expensive fixative from the store, or you can buy cheap hairspray. I'm sorry, Planet, that I'm using aerosol, but I don't use that much of it very often, so I feel okay about it. All right. So what you do is you're going to hold it. I'm going to hold it this distance, about 6 inches. See, I'm already getting... So you hold it, and you just do a light spray. Okay, now I'm going to actually hold this back here because I don't want all this hairspray in my face. Aerosol. All right, so then you just set it somewhere to dry. I'm gonna just let it dry here because we're using the next page, but I will talk to you about the rest of the stuff that's going on. I just wanted to get that out of the way. So first, you may have noticed both in the title of my stream and sitting on my paper that I have this. We don't really need the little stand. This sits on a stand on my desk because I use it as like a fidget kind of thing. I just mess it up and solve it over and over again. But this is a Rubik's Cube, if you don't already know. And I'm going to show you today. We'll just do the first few steps. I'm not going to go through every single one of them today because it's actually complex, so this will be a to be continued probably, unless we actually end up having a lot of time and I end up going incredibly fast and get it all done. But that's probably not likely. The last couple of steps in solving a Rubik's Cube are pretty difficult, so yeah. All right, other supplies you need. So you just need a number 2 pencil and a piece of paper. I am going to be using a 2B pencil so that you guys can see it a little bit better. But it's also helpful to have some kind of pencil sharpener and some erasers. Now, your number 2 pencil is going to have an eraser on it, but rubber erasers are better. So if you have access to those, I highly recommend it. All right. So like I said, you can use a number 2. I'm not going to because it's a little bit too light for you guys to see between the camera and the paper. Okay, so what are we drawing today, Sarah, you might ask? Well, we're going to be doing a study of cylinders. Now, we've done studies in the past of flowers. We did a study of eyes. We did a still life. This is a still life study. What I'm going to do is show you how to draw a cylinder, and this is important because you'll have a lot of rounded objects. So what we're going to learn here is how to shade a cylinder. So basically how to shade an object so that it looks rounded, and then I'm going to show you how to do a shadow properly using your light source. Okay, so I'm really excited. A friend of mine, it just popped up, but I just got invited. Hey, Schwadev, welcome. It is going fantastic. Actually, you just reminded me I've got some tea that I've been brewing. Let's see, what am I making today? I've got a white ginger pear. I like loose tea. I've got this fancy thing here that steeps it, and so I like it because this is cool. All I have to do is like set it down. You guys like my Lowe's cup? I just set it down. Let's see, where are we? Ha! Beautiful. Yeah, I know. I like fancy tea. Oh man, you go watch my very first stream. I gave away my secret chai. It's not really secret. I mean, because I gave it away. But my chai recipe, my masala chai, so good. It's like excruciatingly good. That's how good it is. Like you want so much more. I bet nobody uses excruciating and good in the same sentence very often. All right. Looks like a nightmare to clean. It's actually not. I mean, it's tea. So, okay, so I compost. And so, I just dump it out. I mean, just dump it out in the compost. Put water in it, dump it out. It's all good. So, making tea is fun. Oh, and this is so good. I haven't had this one in a while. White ginger pear. It's definitely got that ginger zing to it. And white tea is nice because it's not too heavy on the caffeine. All right. So let's go ahead and get started. I was about to say, before I was so rudely interrupted, just kidding. A friend of mine is getting ready to graduate from school. He's in the music program at UNC Greensboro for composing, and I'm really excited he just invited me to his recital. So we'll see if that happens. If his recital actually happens, it'll probably be in May sometime. So that'll be cool and a good excuse for me to travel up north a little bit. Okay. Don't be sorry. I am very appreciative that you are here. So thank you for joining. Okay. So everybody grab their tea or whatever delicious beverage you might be partaking of at this moment. I'm not partaking of the delicious beverage I would like to be partaking because this is a kid-friendly stream. So we're going to keep it completely sober today. Okay. All right. Well, thank you for letting me know. Okay. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to do 2 cylinders. We're going to do a coffee cup and a bowl because these are 2 slightly different shapes. So I'm going to start with a nice big oval. We're going to do our bowl first. And then I'm going to do a smaller oval. That's it. Ordered some beer. Oh, that's right. They do beer delivery where you are. That's nice. I have to go buy my own beer. So yeah, us plebes, we got to buy our own beer. Clearly. Well, it's okay. Soon there will be a beer event. Okay. So what we're going to do is that from our 2 circles here, we're going to do a rounded, just kind of a smile. Now, this side of the bowl is not doing so well. Okay, I'm going to use my eraser. Oh, blow, don't wipe. Okay, got to know my own rules. So the reason I say that, blow, don't wipe, if you're just joining the stream, Bepunsky, hey, yes, go get a beer. This is a stream to be enjoyed with alcoholic beverages if you are an adult. And by adult, in this country, I mean 21 and older. I don't know what other countries are. Okay, so I had a point before I got off on that. Kid friendly didn't last long. It did not. Well, I'm kid friendly. I'm drinking tea. So, you know, I did not endorse I didn't endorse alcohol. You guys, all right. Okay. Thank you. Erasing. Thank you. Someone paying attention. Blow, don't wipe. All right. If you wipe, especially with some of the pencils that we have here, like I've got charcoal and chalk and some dustier pencils, if you wipe it, it will actually smear it. So you don't want to do that. You want to blow. So yeah, it's kind of my stream motto. I don't know if I want that to be my stream motto, but I say it an awful lot. All right. Now, let's talk about our light. Okay, so we have this. We don't actually need the shape on the inside now, so we can erase that. All right. Now, let's talk about where the shadows are going to be. First of all, we need to figure out where our light source is. So let's pick a light source like over here. All right. Wait. Let's see. Where do we want? I really want my light source to be here, but you guys can't see it. So it's like up here, and there's like space there and down. So what we're going to do is we're going to have it so our light is touching. Let's just draw it. Let's just draw it here. We're just going to, so that's our light source. So first and foremost, your light source is going to come to your edges. So depending on where your edge is, it comes to the outer edge of your light source. So that you figure out where your light source is, and then that's how it's going to dictate your shadow and your shading. Now, this is a type of perspective because look, we actually have a 1-point perspective that's a little bit past our light source, right? So this is 1-point perspective, but we're just doing it with shadow. So this perspective actually continues. So you just continue that way. Now, from the bottom of our bowl, we're going to actually, let's see. Put it through there. So you can see that line. I don't know if, let me hold this up so you guys can see it. So see, I've got that very light line that goes this way. So this is how your bowl is going to be shaded, and it's always going to be darker right up against, and then gradually get lighter and gradually fade out to where we don't see these side edges anymore. So let's get this pretty dark here, as dark as you can. Now, it doesn't have to be completely filled in. What I like to do is do a couple different layers. Like if you ever remember coloring with crayons where you had, you would do it lightly and then you do it lightly again on top of that and it would make it darker because it was filling in the wax in the little spots. Well, we're going to be doing kind of the same thing. So I'm going to use my spreader. You can also use your finger. Your middle finger gives the best amount of pressure. So there's that. But you can use that. You can also crumple up a piece of paper, which I don't have any handy, or a paper towel. So all the spreader does is kind of fill everything in. And then if you want to lighten your edges, you can take an eraser and just dab the edges, like right at the top especially, and then come back in. When I say the top, I meant the lighter part of the shading, and then come in with your spreader over that. That's pretty much it for a shadow. I mean, that's all you need to know. Figure out where your light source is, pull the, that's for the cast shadow. Now we're going to talk about the shadow that's on the item itself, on the object. So I'm going to erase this middle line here. Drink a little tea. Okay. So there's a couple things going on. First of all, we're going to have reflected light on this side because the light is actually going to reflect off of things and back onto the bowl. So down at the very bottom, it'll be very light. It won't be as dark of a shadow. But it will be a darker shadow directly opposite the light. Okay. So I'm going to fill this in. Now, as it comes around the side, it's going to gradually get lighter, and so we won't have as much of a shadow right there. That's going to actually end up being a highlight. So very dark on the opposite side. I mean, all of this is pretty common sense stuff, but if you don't think about it like that, sometimes your drawings don't end up looking 3D the way they could. We'll do something a little different with the coffee cup. All right, so we've got our shadow where we're gradually working up the object. Okay, and you can use your spreader. Now my spreader is dirty from last week's charcoal drawing, so I've got nice shading capabilities here. The dirtier your spreader, the easier it's going to be to get nice dark colors. Now remember, I'm going to leave a little bit of light down at the bottom here. And I just adjust my pressure. Gradually get lighter. And then we're going to do just a little bit of erasing on the outside to really get that highlight. Okay. Now, okay, let's say we have a rim to this bowl, because most bowls do have some kind of rim. So I'm just going to go in here and draw like a little parallel line going all the way around. Now, as it gets closer to the back, we won't see it. We'll see it. It might be like very thin, but it's not going to be, it's going to be a little farther away. Okay. My fastest Rubik's Cube time, oh, my nephew would know that. I think I got down to 1:30. I think. I don't really go for speed. My nephew does. He's got a speed cube and everything. And, well, thanks. Well, I think the world champion is at 5 seconds. So 1:30 is a little bit slow. Really, the time that I would say I probably average is maybe about 3.5, 4 minutes. I don't go for speed though. For me, it's just like the brain thing of just working it out, doing the algorithms. Yeah. Well, you should watch the video of this guy solve it. It's pretty incredible. So, all right. Now, let's talk about the inside of the bowl. So, the highlight is going to be where the light is touching, right? So all of this right here, the light is able to touch, but it's not able to touch on this side. Now these are going to be what we call mid-tones, because there is enough reflected light in the air that it's not completely dark as you get down. It might be right at the top, but then as you go down, it's going to get light pretty quickly. So these are your midtones where you have some shading, but they're not exactly deep shadows. Okay, so I'm going to allow a little bit of shading to come over here into the All right, so remember that this is rounded. So we're going to come in here. And you want to round with the bowl. Now, we're looking inside the bowl, which is why this is going to be a little bit different than the coffee cup, because the coffee cup we're going to be going more on the outside. We won't see down into it. Oh, I could actually use my coffee cup if I wanted to. Oh, and I just went over my rim here, so I'm going to have to redraw the rim. Now, I'm going to let my spreader kind of come into the light areas a little bit, and then I'm going to use my finger and just spread that around. All right. Let's get highlights. All right, so you're going to have a dark line that comes around. And then we're going to have a highlight. Let's see. Let me get the eraser. Now, I'm going to use a kneaded eraser. Just so you guys know, today I have decided I'm going to do a little bit of standing yoga in the middle, because you know I sometimes do breathing exercises. It's really good just to stretch and get the blood flowing and be creative. But since my drawing class isn't going to last very long, then I'm going to do a little bit of standing yoga today. So I'm pretty excited about it, because at some point I would like to do a yoga stream. You know, because I feel like we're all trapped indoors right now, and maybe that would be a good thing, you know, for people to be getting some movement. Okay, so what I've done is I've narrowed this into a point. This is my kneaded eraser. And I'm going to bring this. I left it pretty white, so I might not even need to be doing this, but all right. And I'm going to actually use my spreader here and just come in, and I'm just giving the indication of a rim. So this is what's called defining your edge. So instead of drawing a line, I'm defining the edge with shading. So I'm going to hold this up so you can see it. So see, it makes it look like a more natural edge because I'm just shading around it. All right, let's do this in a couple other places. It's going to be really easy to do on this side because we have a very dark shadow going right up against it. So I'm erasing into that shadow a little bit with my kneaded eraser. Because I want to get the line that I created earlier, I want to get that out of there because we're going back in with an edge. So we're going to come in with our kneaded eraser. Spreader. Let's get my terminology correct. And sometimes so that I don't have like a really stark line, I'll just kind of do a couple little circles down into the bowl to make it look a little more natural. Now, I lost the outside edge, so I'm going to have to come in, turning this slightly and just very slightly give myself my edge again. Now this is assuming that we're looking down on the bowl. If the bowl was up a little bit higher where we couldn't see down into it, then we would not see the rim on this side at all. But we can a little bit. I just accidentally kind of went into it with my shading. All right. So, you guys mentioned beers. So, on a pirate ship, there are usually 3 main sails. And a lot of times they were referred to as sheets. And sometimes if the rigging got loose, then the sails would just flop around in the wind, and that's not very helpful for sailing because you're not catching any wind. And that was called 3 sheets to the wind. So that was basically the analogy used for someone who was flopping around drunk. Probably not on deck, because that would have been very frowned upon, and someone could have gotten in quite a bit of trouble for being drunk during his duties. Or hers, in some cases, but rarely. So yeah, 3 sheets to the wind, because they'd be flopping around like the sheets, like the sails or the sheets. Okay. Now the rigging on a ship was really extensive. Like your rigging, if you were to take all of the ropes that were on a ship and stretch them out, it'd be miles of ropes. So only someone who was very, very qualified, who had been doing it for a very long time, a veteran, if you will, would really know all of the rigging. So that was where know the ropes comes from. So your veterans know the ropes. All right. We're done with the bowl. Let's do a coffee cup. All right, I'm going to erase this light source because we're going to do a new light source. Actually, we could use the same light source. Actually, I will do that. I'm going to use the same light source just to show you what it's like when it's coming at you. Coming at you. So, we'll leave the same light source. All right, so for a coffee cup, we're going to have 2 circles and a rectangle. So we are going to do, it's a circle, but you're looking at it from the side. So it's really like, an elliptical object. All right, and we're going to do another one that's the exact same size, approximately. We'll try to get it as close as we can down at the bottom. It's like the same thing. It should be a mirror. Mine is a little bit lopsided, I can see there. Lopsided coffee mug. All right. You know what? I actually don't list my videos as for kids on YouTube. I used to do that, but then they didn't allow me to have comments on there, so I stopped. So really this doesn't need to be completely kid friendly. Just thought about that. I don't think kids actually watch my stream. They should. All of my previous students should be watching my stream, but you know, what are you gonna do? Half of them aren't even old enough to have a Twitch account. Okay, so now we're gonna do our rectangle. So if you want to imagine, you do not actually have to draw the rectangle. You could draw it straight across if you wanted to, but you don't have to. Really, we just need the two sides. Okay. And as you can see, mine was a little funky. So let's erase this inside. And there you go. Got the outside of your coffee mug. Woo. I'm like looking at this Rubik's Cube and the completionist part of me is like dying to fix it. It's killing me for it to be messed up. So we're going to have to get to this fast. Stat. All right, so remember our light source is here. All right, so first we're going to start with our shadow. So we're going to come to this corner and this corner. From that side of the light source and that side of the light source. Oh, that is not a good straight line. That side of the light source. Man, I was like pretty off there. I swear there's no alcohol in this tea. All right. So if you continue that out, here's what happens. It's getting bigger, right? So like this one actually stayed about the same size, even though the bowl was rounded. And actually it probably should have gotten a little bit bigger, but anyway, it's okay. The light is able to come around it. But over here, this is actually going to get bigger because our lights, well, what is my deal with straight lines today? Oh, straight lines today. Okay. There. Seriously. All right. So remember, we're dark right up along the edge. We're going to gradually get lighter. The key is to control your pressure so you can gradually release it and get lighter like that. Now I'm going to use my spreader and come in and bring everything together. Now remember, like I said before, when you get to the edges, it's going to start gradually blending out. I'm going to use my eraser. Come in here. Actually, you know what? This is what the finger's good for. We're just gonna so we get those nice lightens up there. There, like that. All right. Now, we're going to continue the coffee mug. Okay. So remember, it's dark here. It's going to be dark right up against here. And then it's going to get lighter. Now this kind of goes down in a U shape, like the darkness. So it's dark at the top, and then it's going to come down like this U shape like that, and then be lighter on the sides. And we want to blend this a little bit. All right. Now, on this side, we're completely dark. It's going to carry around. This whole side really is dark. We'll have like a little bit of our reflected light down here. But then the whole side's going to be dark because we're facing right behind it. However, let's go up the middle. Let's get that first. Because this is rounded, it's going to actually get lighter as you go towards either side. So I'm just going to let my pressure come up a little bit on my pencil. Then I'm going to let my pressure come up even more. And don't worry, I'm going to blend this so it doesn't look so choppy. Very light. And this is how you get the rounded effect. I might have gone a little bit too wide with my darkness here. We'll see. We'll see what I can do. I might be able to fix some of this with an eraser. Yep. It's a little bit too dark, but I'm going to fix it with an eraser. So what I did was I went a little bit too far with the middle section there. And so it's blending too darkly. So here's what I'm going to do. I blended it, and then I'm going to come in with an eraser. Now, if you're using a number 2 pencil, this might erase a little bit easier. Well, I don't know, actually. Because number 2, so the deal with number 2, you've got 2 different ways of measuring pencils. You've got H and you've got B. H is means hard, and that's going to be more like where you get really, really clean lines, but they're very hard to erase. B means bold, and they're darker. So the H lines are the ones that are more shiny, and the B lines are the ones that are darker. And so the higher the number in B, the darker they're going to get. All right. We're going to have to see what we can do with this. So I'm using a 2B, so I'm using a softer pencil than you guys are. A number 2 pencil, this actually says it on here, is an HB, which means it's directly in the middle between H and B. So I'm going to be dark in the middle here. And my dirty spreader isn't really helping me anymore because I've got so much graphite down. Because graphite has a very resistant quality to it, where it won't let you put anything down over it. So like if you try to draw with charcoal or chalk on top of graphite, it doesn't go down as quickly. Or at all. Sometimes it won't even draw on it at all. Okay. So our reflected light's a little bit too light, so I'm just going to come in here. All right, that's a little better. It's a little better. It's not like perfect, but let's just clean up our line on the outside here. I'm getting carried away here. All right. By T. All right, we still have to do our coffee, the handle. You know what? I'm gonna just see if I can get a little bit darker in the middle. That's not bad. All right. All right, all right. I'm glad I went with that. I'm looking at the... I'm not really happy with that at all. All right, well, we need to draw our handle. Okay. So I'm going to put the handle right about here. It comes down pretty far. And so you're going to have, it's basically like your letter D. And at a certain point, it looks like, it's going to look like it's kind of twisting. And I did not do that properly. What is up today? Anyway, it's going to look like it's twisting. So, here's what we're going to do. Because this isn't flat. It's not completely flat. It's not like a Mobius strip or something. So what we've got to do is we've got to shade this side to come up, and we're shading the side of it. I don't like how dark that is. I'm going to draw this back on, but with the spreader. And I'm going to add just a little bit of shade to it, but not too much. So it's all shaded over here and shaded down in here. But down here below it is going to be the most shading. And then of course we've got our shape, right? So shape is going to be a little bit longer and narrower. And then I'm going to use the spreader to actually put that in. We just need to get that general shape there. Similar to the the main shadow, it's going to be a little bit darker and it's going to get lighter as it goes up. I want this to be a little thicker. Hang on. So all you have to do I'm just thickening up the line a little bit so that it looks like, there we go. So it looks like it's got some substance to it. As you can see, I don't want to tilt this too much, but you can see obviously it's thick. It's not like a super thin line. So we're gonna just thicken that up a little bit. All right. This is our coffee cup. Get a little bit of shading there. And let's see, last thing we need to do is our rim. Let's see. So I'm going to come around here. So close. We're so close. I can feel it. So today's pose is we're going to do a mountain pose, which you guys will get a kick out of mountain pose because it's basically standing there. But it's a purposeful standing. And we're going to do a forward fold. Well, actually, I don't know. Maybe I won't. Maybe I'll do a flow, an arm flow. Maybe I won't do forward fold today. We'll see. We'll see how I feel when I get there. All right. So I'm doing my edge like we did before. I'm getting lighter at the bottom. And then I'm going to ever so slightly get the outside there. Done. Now, if you wanted to do embellishments, you could. Like, let's say we wanted to, you know, do some kind of decorative something or other. And it's the same exact principles. You want it to get darker as it comes to the back. Now, it's got a curve with the bowl, which I don't think I'm doing all that well, actually. Yeah. This side of my bowl I don't think is actually shaped correctly. Because I keep looking at it and I don't think it was even. A little better. A little better. Is anybody by any chance doing the drawing with me today? I know that some of you do not follow along with your pencils, which is fine. I actually encourage anybody to watch who wants to watch. You do not have to do the actual activity. In fact, I'm not even sure I should post this one as a VOD at this point. This is pretty bad. Yeah, it's not. It's not. I'm being too hard on myself. Okay. you know, you get the idea. Should curve up with the bowl. I don't think I actually did that. Ta-done. We can erase our light source. Now, if you were looking at this as a still life, you'd want to figure out where your light source is, and then, like, let's see. How can I? Well, so you can see it here. So I have a light over here. You can see how this is coming. Let's see if I... So you see my light source is over here. And you can see how it just comes in and it gets gradually brighter. Hey, the feeling of deepness. Thank you. Yeah, the shape really needs some work. I kind of fudged that a little bit. But thank you and welcome. So you've got this shape here where, see how it gets kind of fuzzy as it goes out? It's like very dark here and then it starts getting fuzzier. That's what you're going for. And in fact, as you can see, it started to kind of disappear. Like even the handle started to kind of disappear a little bit on that. Okay, so that's actually it for this. As Elmaine said, this is the shapes were a little funky today. Did anybody follow along? Because if not, we're going to go ahead and move on to the second part. I do have, if you see my Discord server right here at the bottom of my screen, I can pull up my Discord and show you that I post. So you can actually see that these were just reference drawings. I didn't actually follow this exactly today. I just chose my own light source, as you can tell, because my shadows and light is nothing like what you see there. But this is usually where you can see I've done, let's see, we have a couple, like this is last week's stream. So I usually post whatever drawing is going to be whatever our reference drawing is in the Discord server. So that's a good place to get it. Okay. Let's call it. I'm calling it time of death. I don't even know the time. 7:56. Oh, good timing. All right, so it's been about an hour. So I'm going to go ahead and close this. I'm going to get a nice space. Let's do a little bit of yoga. All right. Drink some tea, drink some water. All right. So, okay. So the first thing we're going to do today is we're going to practice our mountain pose. So mountain pose, you're going to stand with your legs about hip width apart, and you're going to really think tall like a mountain. Elongate your neck. Let your shoulders drop. Let your hands drop facing out. Now there's something really cool about having your hands out like this. Like if you go outside and you walk, I can feel it in here already. If you go outside and you walk around with your hands like this, of course, if you did that right now, people would probably think you were pretty weird. But if you just go to the park or whatever. You can actually feel the energy. It's pretty cool. Like it's kind of a buzz on your hands. It's pretty interesting. Anyway, so you stand with your hands out, close your eyes, and take deep breaths with your nose. You do not use your mouth. Now, if for some reason you cannot breathe completely through your nostrils at this time, then you can use your mouth, and maybe eventually over time you can use your nostrils. But the reason you use your nostrils is it builds heat inside your body. So we're just going to take a few deep breaths in and out in this pose. Remember, think tall like a mountain. Plant your feet and pull your head up, like imagine that it's coming up. So here we go. Breathe in and out. In and out. One more time. Breathe in and out. Okay, now we're going to flip our hands around and we're going to do mountain pose with arm movement. Okay, so what we're going to do is bring our hands up while we're breathing in and out. Two more times. Last time. Okay, I am going to do a forward fold because I'm just like really feeling it today. Man, the energy is like, it's great. Okay, so what we're going to do is you're going to bring your hands to your chest. Now, this is your heart position. All right. We're going to widen our legs just a little bit more. Actually, you know what? Let's start with our hands on our hips. Let's do that. So we're going to widen our legs a little bit wider than hip distance. And we're going to put our hands on our hips. And we're going to gradually, as we breathe in, we're going to gradually fold forward, all the way forward with your head down towards the ground, okay? Okay. So fold all the way forward, and then let the hands drop. Okay, now I don't know if you guys can see my hands or not. Probably not. No. Let me see if I can. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to grab our elbows with our hands. So this is what it looks like. Okay? And we're just going to let our head drop and let our elbows just dangle. You're going to kind of move left and right. Just move left and right. Left and right. Okay. Shake your head yes. Shake your head no. Then shake your head maybe. Because we don't know. Let the hands drop and come to your thighs, and you're gradually going to push forward so that you come into a flat back. You want to have a flat back, and you're pushing your legs straight. And then you're going to breathe in and then drop. On the next breath in, we're going to come all the way up to sun salutations. So you breathe in, come up, and out to the heart center. Namaste. Thank you for joining me today. Hopefully some of you maybe did that with me. We'll see. That was a little bit longer than I normally do. Let's see. Let's move this back over. Okay. Thank you. That felt so good. I haven't done any good standing yoga in a while, so. I do a lot of cat-cow, just seated cat-cow, because I'm seated a lot. Okay. Let's take a look at this. So we're going to look at all of our sides first. I like to solve for the white first. Now, there's a little trick, which is that whatever piece is in the middle, that never moves. So this is going to be my blue side. This is going to be my yellow side. This is my green side, red side, orange side. Okay? So white is always opposite yellow because the middle section doesn't move. That's key. First thing we're going to do is solve for the white cross. Now, what I mean is that we want our middle white pieces. So it's going to be a piece that has white on one side and the color on the next side. Now, to solve for that, let's find those pieces. So I found one. This one is a middle white. All right, so I am going to bring it up, but see, it's got a blue there. So I'm going to twist it till it comes to the blue. So now it's over the blue. So now this spot is correct. All right, so let's find another one. Here's another one. Now, we twist it and look what happens. Oh, it's not in the right spot. So let's do this. What we're going to do is we're going to twist it over to the side, put it down. So now it's at the bottom, right? And then twist it around. Now, we want that to be where the red is. So we twist it around to the red and twist it back up. So now I have two spots that are correct. See? I've got the white and red here and the white and blue. Okay, so let's find another one. I already found one. There's a white and a green. So all we need to do, it's already on the bottom. So we'll just flip it around to the green and then twist it up so that it's up here. So now our white and green is done. Our white and red is done, and our white and blue is done. So last one we need to do is white and orange. Now, we've got the orange on the bottom, and we need the white to be on the bottom. So you twist it to the side. Now, then we're going to twist it so that the white is on the bottom. The problem is that it moves our blue, right? So we're going to twist it, move this out of the way. So now our white and orange is correct. Then we'll twist our blue back up. So you see what I did there? Now our white and orange is in the correct spot, so you can flip it around. So now we have our cross. So our white and orange is correct, our white and green is correct, our white and red is correct, and our white and blue is correct. So we have a white cross. That is step one. So remember, while I'm knocking everything over on my desk, remember that you need the white to be on the bottom if you're going to flip it around. So you just have to work it until you get it at the bottom, get it underneath the correct color in the middle, and then flip it around. So that's the trick for step one. Now what we're going to do is we're going to solve for the corners. So here's the thing. We need something that's white on top, and in this case, blue and red on the sides. So what I do is I find a corner that's white. So here's a corner that's white. Now this is white and red. So what you do is this is green on the bottom. So white, red, and green. So we need it to go right here. If the white was on this side, we would move it to the right. So whatever side it's on, that's the way you move it. So if it was on the on the right side of the corner, it would move to the right. If it was on the left side of the corner, like it is now, it's going to move to the left. That gets it out of the way. We're going to move this down. So now we're taking this corner and putting it right here. Now watch what happens when we move it back. Look, it goes right back in that spot. So then we can move it back up. And now we've got the green, the red, and the white in the correct spot. Let's do another one. All right, so I've got a couple corners here. Let's do the white and blue first. So what we're going to do is we're going to get it over to where it's matching the blue. Now it's red on the bottom, so the red needs to go over here, blue over here, and white at the top. Since the white is on the left, which way does it go? To the left. So get it out of the way to the left. Bring this down. Bring it back, and then just flip it back up. Just like that. So now the white, red, and blue is correct. All right, so we've got another one. Now this time, so we'll bring it to the orange. This time it's on the right side, right? So you move it to the right. Now we're going to bring this side down. See what I did there? Okay, so this is where it is. I need this to be up here. So I need that to come down. So I'm going to move this out of the way, bring this down, move it back, and now I can move it back up. Now there was one spot that was already correct, so all of our corners are correct now. And you should have this really cool little tetromino there, little T there. Okay, now I could stop here, but I'm not going to. I'm going to go ahead and show you the next step. Turn it upside down. Is everybody following so far? Is there any questions about the first part of this? You do the cross, then you do the corners. And with the corners, if it's on the left side, you move it to the left and move this opposite corner. If it's on the right side, you move it to the right and you move this corner. That's pretty much the trick. So this is the easy part. Now, this is going to be a little bit trickier. So we're turning it upside down. Now we need to get the pieces on each side of this T here. We need to get that correct. Now, some of the pieces look like they're correct, like the red is here, but look, it's blue on this side, which doesn't match with the green. So we need to fix that. Well, first let's see if we have any pieces that are matching. So we basically want something that's not yellow. So this is a green and a red here. So what you do is you line it up over the color that is on the face. All right. We need this to go here. How do we know? Because this is red. So we need the red. We need to flip this way so that it's green and red right here. So here's what you're going to do. Where is the spot? It's on the left-hand side. We're going to move away from the spot. We're going to bring this up, twist this back. So now you've got your white over here. Bring this back down. So now your white is here. I know this is kind of confusing. This one is one where it takes a little bit of time to get. Twist one more time. Wait a minute. Yep, that's correct. I had to think about that. Now we're going to bring this, see we've got here, we're going to bring this up. Twist this white and green back around. Let's try that again, because this one is a trickier bit. All right, so we've got a blue and an orange here. So blue and orange needs to come around to the blue side. Okay, so it's going to go here. Go the opposite way of wherever it needs to go. So you're going to twist this away, because if you twist it this way, it's going to be in the way when you start moving this. It's going to move with it. We don't want it to move with it. We want it to be independent. So it's going to move this way so that we can move this up. Okay, then we'll turn this back to get that white piece out of the way. Put the white back down. Bring it one more time. The way I remember how to turn it is you turn it either clockwise or counterclockwise depending on where it is. So if it's on the left side, we're going to turn it clockwise. If it was on the right side, you would turn it counterclockwise. That's just how I remember it. So you bring it back around and then twist. All right, so we've got a red and a blue here. I was hoping to get one where it's on the other side, but this is the last piece. All right, so the red, how are we doing on time? We're only 10 minutes in. I totally have time to show you guys how to do this whole thing. But if you're confused right now, I understand, because this was the most confusing part to me. It took me forever to figure out what to do at this point, like, because I knew the algorithms, but it didn't make sense to me. So now it makes sense to me. It's on the left, so we're going to move it to the right, away. Bring that up, because what we're doing is we're trying to get this out of the way. Twist, it's on this side, so we're going to go clockwise. We've got our white over here, so we bring the white back and back down. So now you've got your white, and you've got the first 2 rows done. Questions? Because I feel like maybe that last section we did, I didn't explain it very well. I can tell you how to memorize the algorithm, but I was trying to explain what it was doing and how it was moving the pieces out of the way. So I don't know. I don't know if I explained that well or not. Any word from chat? I don't know. Okay. This next part is actually pretty fun. So what you're looking for is you're looking for shapes. Now, I'm going to go ahead and tell you, I just do this from memorization. There's an algorithm for it. It's really easy to remember, and you just have to look for a shape in the yellow and do that algorithm. So if you have a line, or if you have, see, I don't have any of the other shapes yet. So the line is what I have. So I've got a line. What you're going to do is everything is going to go clockwise first. So it's going to go front, top, right, and that's clockwise. Then it's going to go, I said that I had this memorized. Nope, that wasn't it. Hold on. What did I do? I can resolve the whole thing, so it's not going to be a big deal for me, but apparently teaching this is very different than trying to do it myself. Okay, what did I just do here? All right, so I did front, top, right. And then I flipped the top, and I don't know which way I flipped it now. Yep. I think I screwed it up. So, all right. Well, this is what you do if you screw it up. Fun times. You just get the cross again. It's not that big of a deal. This is quality right here. This is quality TV right here. Watching somebody screw up a Rubik's Cube. Okay, let's get this around to the orange. All right, I got my white cross. And blue. And one more. Okay, this one, oh, actually, this is good because this one's tricky. Okay, yay. Haha, teachable moment. This is what you do with kids. When you mess up as a parent, if I have any parents on the stream, you probably know this. When you mess up as a parent, you don't ever really mess up. It becomes a teachable moment. All right. So the white is on the bottom here rather than on one of my corners. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring this down and get my white over here. Now I've got my white so that it can be a corner. So I just flip it down because see, now it's a corner. Get it out of the way. Tilt that back up. All right, now I can go ahead and move the pieces I need to get it up there. Okay. So let's see, what do I have here? Blue. I'm missing something. Oh, red and blue right here. All right, so we're back. We're back in business, y'all. Back in business. See, it doesn't take that long. That's why it's not a big deal if I get lost, which does happen, especially when I'm distracted and I'm trying to use this to fidget. I'll mess up. And especially if I'm trying to show somebody. It's when I always get messed up. Okay. So let's see if I got this right. So it's clockwise, clockwise, clockwise. Top, counterclockwise, right, counterclockwise, front, counterclockwise. Ta-da! Now I've got a different shape on the top. So instead of my bar going straight across, I've got this backwards L. That's what you want. So you don't want like anything like that. You want it to be center to the left. And you do that exact same motion. Front clockwise, top clockwise, right clockwise, top counterclockwise, right counterclockwise, front counterclockwise. So what that looks like if you do front, so it's front, up, if you call that up, and right. So fur, F-U-R, front, up, right. And then you do up, right, front. So it's fur, earth. if you remember that. Fur, earth. Okay. Now we have this shape here. And this looks like a blob. I look at this as a T. Okay, that's important. Because there's another shape that looks like this, which I call the fish. So when it looks like a T, or when it looks like the fish, it actually is the same motion. But what you're looking for is when it looks like a T versus the fish, you're looking for these two. You're looking for where the yellow is, and that's the way you're going to face it towards you. This is by far the most fun. We are going to, I like this one. So it's very, very simple. Always moving the right and the top. That's it. Just right and up, right and up. So right, up. The right goes back down. You move it up one more time. So now our white is on the back. Move the right up again. And we're going to move this all the way around. So 2 times. It's going to come from, it was right here, remember? We're going to bring it 2 times to right here. And now we can move our white back down. Now we've got a fish. Fish. So whenever you get the fish, you're going to get 2 fish in a row. This is always how it is. Every single time, 2 fish in a row. Same movement we just did. You get the fish looking down to the left. And you go right, top, right, top, right, top 2, down. Now see, I got the fish again. He's pointing to the left. Right, 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 2 times. What? Yeah. All right. Okay. So now we're looking for the side that has 2 corners correct. Sometimes you don't have this side. Sometimes everything looks all jacked up like this. But in this particular case, we do. This is going to go in the back. Bloop. So it's in the back. Sarah's going to take a sip of tea. Please tell me that somebody is following me along, that this is making sense to you, or is everybody completely lost and you're like, what the hell is this stream right now? I thought I came to a drawing stream. You did. I just wanted to change it up today. I love my toys and I want to share my toys with everyone. I want you all to see the fun that I have when I'm sitting at my desk. All right. What I'm about to show you is possibly the most complex. I will go ahead and admit I just memorized it. That was it. You just got to memorize it. I kind of understand what's going on, but it is such a complex algorithm that if you try to follow it, someone like my nephew probably could follow it. He's very bright. I think that he is, some kind of little mad genius. So he can do this stuff pretty easily and very quickly. I think he's got it down to, 25, 30 seconds, something like that. He's pretty good. Sarah does not have it down to that, but I also don't go for speed. So remember, our orange, the two correct corners are in the back. This is how it goes. You're going to do your right counterclockwise, which means it's coming towards you. So right towards you, front clockwise. So you're moving that yellow down. Right towards you again. Now your back, so this is the very back here, is going to go twice. So it's just going to flip around. 1, 2. Now your right is going to go away from you. Your front is going to go, so these are going the opposite direction now. Your front is going to go counterclockwise. And then we'll come back. Right comes towards you. Back does too. Doot, doot. And then you can see you've got a white stripe here. Flips around. So we've got one side that's completely correct. And we've got 3 sides that aren't. Okay. I could write down the last algorithm for you because it's complicated. It basically is right counterclockwise, front clockwise, right counterclockwise, back 2, right counterclockwise. Right clockwise. Man, I'm going to really throw you guys off. Right clockwise, front counter, right counter, back 2, right 2. I can write it down for you. Like I said, I can put this in my show notes, and I probably will. I'll probably go ahead and put the algorithms for you. All right. Or at least some of the more complicated algorithms anyway. Now, when we get it like this, you want to note the colors that are in the middle. So I've got a green here, an orange here, and a red here. These all need to move which direction? Counterclockwise, right? That's that we need these to move this way so that the orange lines up, the green lines up, and the red, don't even worry about the red. Okay, that's key. What you're going to do is you're going to put your blue, which is correct, in the back, just like we did with the orange earlier. Put the blue in the back. And you're going to flip this around so that the yellow's on the bottom and the white's on the top. Okay? Now remember, it was counterclockwise. So we're going to flip this counterclockwise. If it was the other way, then you would go this way. Flipping this way. Okay, so you're going to bring these two down, flip them around, bring them back up. And it's done. Please, for the love of God, somebody ask me questions. You guys are so quiet, and I don't know if it's because I've bored you to the point of sleep, and so you're passed out right now at your desk, and your face is covered in charcoal or pencil or whatever it was you were using, or, you know, something. I don't know. But you're very quiet. So I'm hoping that I didn't bore you to death even. What's more toxic than Corona? Watching Sarah do a Rubik's Cube. So when I go to mess it up, I just kind of, I mean, I don't really pay attention. What I do is I try to make it whenever I see two colors together, like, okay, there's 2 whites, 2 yellows, 2 greens. I just split that up. So I'm going to split it up. I try to go in opposite directions. But of course, then you always get some other configuration. But the more you do that, if you're not really paying attention, which I'm not ever paying attention, the more you just keep splitting them up, you're going to get it pretty messed up. So there's mess up. I'm going to do a quick solve real quick just so you can see it in quick form. Man, I think I did kill somebody. Down to one viewer. Or you guys were like, nope, can't do this anymore. I tried to watch your stream, Sarah. It was just too painful. All right. We're going to get the white cross. So let's see. I've got a bunch to choose from here. So I need this white down here at the bottom. Oops. Not entirely sure what I'm doing here. Okay, so I got the white to the orange. Flip it up. Got the white and the red lined up. All right, now I've got the green here. Get that down, move it. Move my red back up because I don't want my red to, so now I've got my white at the bottom there. I don't want my red to be out of place. All right, so move my blue around. Now I've got my white cross. Okay, let's get my corners. So this is white and green, so you line up the green. Now it's on the left side. Okay, this is white and red. It's on the right side. I've got one up here. So let's see, white and blue. So it's on the right side. I'm not even going to look at it. I'm just going to look at my OBS. Okay, so it's on the bottom here. Oops, hold on. Okay, I want to get it right there. So I'm going to move it out of the way. And now I've got white and red. It's on the left. So move it left. Done. Turn it upside down. Red and blue. So red and blue is going to go this way. So we'll move it the opposite direction. And I don't have any more, so this one is just facing the wrong way. So what we're going to do is we're going to pretend like, you know, we move that this way, go up, come back, so that we can get this up here. And then we'll move it over the blue. So it needs to go in this corner, so it goes right. All right, so we're looking for our shapes. Well, now we don't have our line, right? But what do we have? We have this backwards L. So get the backwards L up in the top left corner. And it is front, top, right, fur, earth. And look at that. We have yellow on top. And there are even two corners that are correct. So sometimes this happens. This will give you a faster solve. So we're going to put the red in the back. So it is right, front, right, two back, right goes back, front goes counter, and right, two back, two right. So now our red is correct and our other colors aren't. So now these are going to be going counterclockwise, just like the ones before, because the blue goes this way, the orange goes this way. So I put my red in the back, flip my white around, and it's going to go counterclockwise. Bring this down, flip it around. Ta-da! All right. Hopefully that wasn't as boring as I felt like it was. But, you know, whatever. You got to at least see somebody solve the Rubik's Cube 2.5 times. So thank you very much for joining me. My next stream is actually going to be tomorrow. I don't know if anybody noticed, but I have changed my schedule. And that is so that I know there's a lot of people at home, and I want everyone to be able to view my streams. And my nephew mentioned that maybe I should do streams on Saturday. So I'm going to start doing my painting streams on Saturday afternoon. It's going to be 2 p.m. my time, which is -4 UTC. So join me tomorrow. We are going to do in the spirit of the coffee cup that we did today. I'm going to do, it's like a teacup and a rose. I think it's a little still life that we're going to do. I've never done this one before, so it should be interesting. But yeah, so thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate you sticking through the entire Rubik's Cube demo that may or may not have taught you how to solve a Rubik's Cube, but maybe you didn't care that much. Maybe you were just supporting me, and I thank you for that. So have a fantastic night, and hopefully I will see you tomorrow.